Now, you might think that some things are obvious in language learning, but in reality, they're not. You learn that doing what I do. Some people are seasoned language learners. They've seen it all before, they've got their method, they know what works. And when they see me talking about this stuff on YouTube, they leave comments like, well, this Olly guy, he has nothing new to say. Heard it all before. But you've got to remember, I have to remember, most people don't know what it's like to learn a language. Most people have never actually learned a language to fluency. And for most people, the topic of today's rule of language learning is not at all obvious. And yet, there's probably nothing more important when it comes to speaking a language fluently. So, what is this topic? Well, let's make a deal, you and me. You hit the subscribe button beneath this video so you get to see these videos when they're released, and I will tell you exactly what I'm talking about here. Deal? Have you done it? Good, because this stuff is important. Now, back in 2009, I went to live in Tokyo, Japan, and I started learning Japanese right away. Now you'd think that living in Japan would be a good start for learning Japanese, but actually it wasn't so easy. You see, because of work, I was in an English-speaking environment, and that kind of bled out into my social life where most of my friends, even the Japanese ones, spoke really good English. So I didn't do so well for a couple of years. Anyway, I studied Japanese in quite a traditional way. I used textbooks, I took classes, stuff like that. And from time to time, I would meet Japanese people and I would speak. And it was kind of hard. Now, that's normal, you might say Japanese is hard. And you'd be right. So I carried on studying, taking lessons, doing all the right things. Or so you'd think. And 1 year passed. And then 2 years passed. And you know what? I didn't really get much better. I mean, my speaking improved, but not much. And I still found myself really struggling in conversations. I was basically stuck at a kind of mediocre, low intermediate level, getting nervous and just not really communicating very well at all. You wouldn't have been very impressed with me, let me assure you. Full marks for effort, Olly, but your Japanese is pretty dodgy. This was a weird experience for me because the thing is, I had already learned 4 languages by that point, and I did really well in those languages. I was really quite fluent in all of them. So what was going on with Japanese? Why was I struggling? Well, I wasn't sure at first. I just assumed that because I was studying and working hard, I should improve and get better. I should get more fluent. But it wasn't happening. I'd still forget words when it came time to speak. I'd still get nervous in front of people, and I'd still find it hard to put together long flowing sentences to sound natural when I spoke. And then that all changed one day. It was crazy actually. I was able to absolutely transform my Japanese in the space of just a few weeks, from mediocre and nervous to confident and quite comfortable in conversation. And it happened when I started doing language exchanges. So I would find people to do language exchanges with, and I started arranging to meet these people as often as possible. During this period, I tried to meet someone almost every day after work, and every day I got at least an hour of Japanese speaking in, which was pretty much an hour more than I usually got. Now at first it was tough, like it always was with speaking Japanese, but gradually something started to shift. I became confident with important things like starting conversations, keeping conversations going, asking for clarification when I didn't understand something. And it sounds funny, but actually having the confidence to take my time and actually think about what I was saying, rather than, the kind of nervous linguistic autopilot you can get on when you can just say the same things all the time. Basically, over the period of a few weeks, I felt like I matured linguistically into someone who had the confidence and ability to talk intelligently to people, finally. It was really amazing and one of the most transformational experiences I've ever had with a language. And when I thought about why it happened, the answer was staring me in the face. I had never spent much time speaking before. Sure, I'd studied a lot, I'd been to lots of classes, I'd eavesdropped on a lot of conversations and wished I could take part, but actual airtime, sitting face to face with someone and conversing, not all that much. The crazy thing is that I didn't really learn anything new in these few weeks of intensive speaking practice. Nothing much new, and I didn't need to. The Japanese words and phrases I became confident with, they were already kind of in my head somewhere, I just need to speak in order to activate them and get comfortable using them. There is a real difference between knowing something intellectually and being able to use it in the throes of conversation. It takes real practice. And this is why in my teaching, I always encourage you to find speaking partners or sign up to a service like italki and actually commit regular time to speaking the language that you're learning, because that is how you get good. Now, I used to think that this was obvious too. You want to speak a language? Okay, well, speak it then. But only later did I realize that this is not at all obvious to many people who are used to traditional methods of language learning, where it's all about the study, all about the textbooks and the exercises. And this was most clear when one of my Fluent Spanish Academy students, which interestingly is a training program specifically for people at the intermediate stage in Spanish who are struggling with this exact thing, with speaking confidently. Courtney was her name, this student. She emailed me and she said, "Olly, you were the only person who told me that if I wanted to be able to speak Spanish, I actually have to speak it." And so Courtney had committed to speaking Spanish regularly and then emailed me to say that thanks to that one simple piece of advice, she had achieved her dream of becoming fluent in Spanish after years of struggle. It's amazing. And so it's easy to see why this is one of my rules of language learning. Yes, studying is important. But if you never actually speak, you'll never get comfortable actually speaking with people. Now, if this makes sense to you, I'd like you to hit the like button on this video so that I know that the message got through. If you'd like some tips on finding people to speak with, I'll put a link to an article I wrote in the description below for some tips there. But that is it for today. A really quite important lesson. So please, just remember, the secret to speaking is to speak. Thanks for checking out the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy it and you'd like me to continue this series of the rules of language learning, then you can let me know by liking this video. Also, if you'd like to be notified when I upload new videos every week, then you can subscribe to the channel using the big red button below, and the videos will pop right up in your news feed.